Countdown, which looks exactly like Worst, but not quite. And then had a beautiful morning, and it's a beautiful festival. It's absolutely stunning. The bowl stage in particular just looks really amazing, and really happy to be here.
Now, is this all your first visit to NZ?
I've been to New Zealand before in Auckland. There's quite a large Indian community that's based in Auckland, and so I've been to do some Sikh youth camps and things like that. But this is the first time at WOMAD, and certainly the first time in New Zealand. So.
Yeah, and the first time as a band.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Now tell us a little bit about how you came together to start this project.
Sounds good.
I originally put the band together. I've been gradually collecting lots of film music, looking at old films and records and bits and pieces, and I knew there was this fantastic repertoire of music that wasn't really being played very much, and certainly not in Australia or really anywhere that much. And so I did a lot of arranging and made some calls, got people together, and it's sort of grown from there. It's evolved as well beyond that. I mean, we still do some of the old tunes, but we're actually kind of using that as become a springboard to writing our own thing and trying to develop, still referring that to that style, but also kind of doing our own thing as well.
And as far as instrumentation on stage, how does that look and how does that work?
The instrumentation? It's a pretty conventional, sort of funk type band, I suppose, or jazz type band. We use drums, bass, guitar, keys. We use a lot of if we're doing Melbourne shows, sometimes we use the more like kind of old analogue synths, especially for the recordings and things like that, Hammonds and stuff. When we're touring, we haven't got the luxury of taking that stuff with it, but it's those kind of sounds that we're putting in. Keyboards, very sort of twangy, surf guitar kind of sound a lot of the time as well. Then we've got a big horn section, vocalists. We've got Josh as well, he's a very talented musician, plays sitar and tabla, Dylan, mandolin, so he brings a lot of colours in himself as well, so yeah.
Are there any other kind of bands out there, even kind of worldwide, that you would kind of associate yourself, or has a kind of similar sound to Bombay Royale?
No, not really. We haven't found anyone doing what we do. This music, this style of music, we're sort of taking it in a direction where it's departing from the old film music. The old film music was great, but it wasn't performed live, and it still isn't. So we started off performing that live, and now the sound we've kind of got, I would have to honestly say we don't really find that anywhere else.
Yeah, there's not really anyone doing it with Bollywood. You hear remixes of the old tunes, but then they're sort of they're real club kind of more just beat type remixes and stuff, and they'll get there's no one really doing quite, as far as we know. There's no one really come across.
Now, has it come around full circle where people approach you for your music for film?
There has actually, yeah. We were lucky enough to go to Reunion Island last year to do a festival there, which is sort of just off the coast of Madagascar. It's sort of French country. And we were seen by some guys from a South African band, and they were also working on music for a film. Feature film made in South Africa. They ended up, and it's set in Durban. It's called 31 Million Reasons to Suspend Release. It's a commercial release. And they ended up using the title track from our album, actually, You Me Bullet. They actually used that as the opening for the whole movie. So we haven't actually seen the film yet. It's not being released in Australia, but it's sort of like a crime heist thriller involving around these Indian characters in Durban in South Africa.
So it's quite a good fit.
Yeah. We're looking. Yeah, we've always sort of
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Even with the character names and all that, we also always half imagine it's kind of like we're providing the soundtrack to a movie that doesn't actually exist, but we've kind of
There seems to be a few bands that have kind of almost started with writing quite predominantly instrumental music as well. Music for film doesn't exist. Cinematic orchestra being one of them, as well as kind of artists that, when you hear the music, it invokes kind of images of what you imagine a scene kind of playing out with this music. So is that something that you've tried to do with with the tunes as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both. Yeah, I mean, this was on stage as well, but we definitely. I've always loved I love music that tells a story, and like with the way I write. Yeah, I love the idea that it conjures as a scene, and I think some of my favourite music generally, even if it's not specifically cinematic, is those sort of artists that manage to they're not just a band, but they manage to create a whole kind of world. There's, you know, like,
It's more than just the notes.
it's more than just the notes. There's a whole thing that goes with it that becomes just like its own little world. And, you know, I guess that's definitely.
Okay. And so, what can we expect from the performances this weekend?
A lot of fun, something a little bit different. It's not something that you would have ever seen before. I think it's very unique in that way. It's very much about getting involved in dancing. It's very much a dance band, and so we teach a couple of dance moves as we go along. And for Bollywood, it's always about the light bulb. And so get light bulbs happening and big sound, crazy party time. That's what the Bombay Royale is.